what I've got myself to truly believe in is more important than building a company to last is building a company to sell. It was just that thing that kuch karna hai. And that was the kind of spirit which took me through all this and has brought me to where I am.
But you obviously had belief in your capabilities.
Well, while that nothing would happen.
But were you also conscious about your limitations?
Maybe fortunately, that was not overpowering. So you take a piece of paper, you draw a line in the middle, write advantages, disadvantages, and then list it out. And, all this exercise of the head gives you a certain amount of clarity. And once you feel that, yes, you're somewhere near getting that clarity, keep that paper aside and then meditate on what you feel about the situation.
Welcome viewers to another unique episode on the Missing Link with Amit. Today the topic is Living on the Edge, the Entrepreneurial edition. When we talk about living on the edge, we often think of crisis, adversity, or personal upheaval. But sometimes the edge isn't danger, it's decision. It's that moment when others choose safety and one person chooses the long road. When most stick to what's working, someone decides to build what doesn't yet exist. Back in the 80s or 90s, the safer path for many entrepreneurs in India was trading, importing machines, distributing components, playing it light, fast, and risk-free. Manufacturing, that was for state-run giants, or for those with deep political backing. Not for first-generation business people trying to make it on their own. And yet, a few, did take that road. They chose to build, brick by brick, plant by plant, person by person, and one leader at a time. And all that through policy shifts, economic reforms, globalization, and shifting global tides. My today's guest is one of those rare entrepreneurs who didn't just live on the edge, he thrived there. Over 4 decades, he has built businesses, successors, and a culture of trust, all with a twinkle in his eye, a calm in his voice, and wisdom that only experience brings. While others saw the edge as a limit, he saw it as a launch pad to pitchfork his ideas and execute them with a unique bias for action. Let's meet him. Welcome, Mr. Ramani Mani. Thank you so much for coming all the way. I know it's a long drive in our crazy Bangalore traffic. So thank you very much for coming in.
I think it's worth all the distance just to see your house. It's so beautiful, so well done, and it reflects your personality so beautifully.
Maybe more of my wife, because, I take care of the skeleton, she takes care of the flesh, blood, and I think whatever else is there.
Okay.
So thank you again at time for coming in. Viewers, Ramani is an entrepreneur who started an electrical business 42 years ago in a paying guest accommodation in Bengaluru, with sparse inventory under his bed and the veranda morphing into a office.
That's right.
Thank you for the words, because only you can bring out what you went through and what you started from.
Absolutely.
These are not my words, these are Ramani's words. But today, Mr. Ramani runs 3 successful businesses: Money Sales, an electrical trading company, that's where he started from; Load Controls India Private Limited, an electrical LV and MV switchboard manufacturer; and also Modutech Ready Panels Private Limited, a modular electrical enclosure system manufacturer. The group turnover last year was 150 crores. Congratulations for having reached where you have reached. And I'm sure I should be able to offer many more congratulations going forward. And yes, as Ramani informed me that the group aspires to cross 240 crores this year. Wow, that's great. The total number of employees working around 300, right? And company also goes beyond business in being a director on the Control Panel and Switchboard Manufacturer Association, COSMA, headquartered in Mumbai. He also has been the South India CEO, Club of Indian Electrical and Electronics Manufacturers Association, the IEMA. He's married to his life partner, Sukanya Ramani, and they have a daughter, Kirtana, and a son, Vaibhav. So that's Ramani as a human being, as an entrepreneur, and somebody who has been a builder. So let me shoot my first question to you, Ramani.
Sure.
At the time when most entrepreneurs at the time, in those 80s, 90s, or even before that, they chose trading. What made you believe that venturing into manufacturing, especially in a socialist India, was worth the risk?
Can I give you a little bit of a long answer?
Sure, please, please, please.
So when I was in college, my eldest brother, Mani Shankar, he started an electrical trading company. And I used to go and sit in his office during the summer holidays. So when I graduated, he said, why don't we start a branch in Bangalore?
Okay.
And I said, why not? And immediately I found myself in Bangalore in a paying guest accommodation. And, it was an exciting journey. After just about 8 months, we were able to shift the office to the heart of the electrical market, which is Chickpet.
Right.
And while I was just establishing myself in the new office, I get a call from my brother saying, hey, I've started load controls panel board manufacturing company as well.
Okay.
And I would like you to come over and join me as a 50-50 partner in load controls as well. And you appoint a branch in charge in Bangalore. Brother कह दिया तो जाना ही पड़ेगा.
Absolutely.
So luckily I found a friend of mine who had just completed his electrical engineering. Put him to manage the branch.
Yeah.
Came back to Chennai and took complete charge of the factory.
Okay.
This arrangement lasted for about 8 months. At the end of which this branch in charge in Bangalore put in his papers.
Okay.
And my brother somehow came to the conclusion that at this kind of a juncture, you either take over Money Sales Bangalore in Bangalore completely, or you take over load controls in Chennai completely. We close the branch in Bangalore.
Okay.
And in that 8 months, I had a track record of having doubled the production capability in this factory.
Okay.
Now, in Chennai, it was completely manufacturing only in the factory. Whereas in Bangalore, I was with the customers trading. So without blinking an eyelid, I said, I'm going back to Bangalore.
Okay.
And after I came back to Bangalore and I took over the running of the trading company, my brother kept behind me. He says, hey, you're good in manufacturing. You start a manufacturing company. And one of his visits to Bangalore, he actually said, if you were to start a manufacturing company in Bangalore, where would it be? I said, probably in Adiguri, because that was one of the places where there was a subcontractor, and I had actually started taking orders and getting it executed and servicing those requirements.
If I may just interrupt for a second, the question your brother asked you is a typical coach's question. That's the kind of question I ask my clients. I'm coaching them because that leads them to finally make a choice.
Very true, very true. He's till date one of my best friends, philosophers, and guide. He knows how to coach the other person and bring him online.
Exactly.
So that's how it all started. In fact, he identified his 1,000 square feet shed, which we rented, and with conventional machinery, we started.
Which year was this?
This was in the year 1990.
Okay.
So 83, I started trading, and 1990, I started.
Wonderful. So this was yet it was before the opening up with Mr. Manmohan saying.
Yes.
It was just before that. Before India almost kind of went bankrupt.
Correct.
Okay. So those tough days, I remember.
Yeah, it was, as you said, living from the edge.
Living on the edge, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now you took this big call, whether, under the, I would say, under the guidance, coaching, nudging, mentoring, whatever of your elder brother, which is what I hope most elder brothers would love to do, and younger brothers would love to have such an elder brother. But yet, were there moments when you seriously questioned the path that you had taken?
Uh,
After having gone into that and after
well,
that.
um, well, there was a particular point of time where morning I would come to the trading unit, afternoon I would go to the manufacturing unit, and
So Chikpet to Adugodi.
a Chikpet to Adibodi and back, and uh, I also sort of went through this kind of a situation where should I be really doing it like this?
Mm-hmm.
And to add to the situation, the guy who was running my trading business is my immediate next in line. He one day said that he wanted to start his own business.
Okay.
And he wanted to start a stationery business near his residence, which was quite in those days the outskirts of Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in a dilemma what to do, and I in those days I would regularly walk with a friend of mine called Prabodh, and so I asked Prabodh as to this is my situation. What do you think I should do? I feel that I should probably just close down money sales and focus only on manufacturing. So he said, Ramni, are you making money in money sales?
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, thoda to aata hai. So he says, as long as you're making money, don't close it down. Find a way. So I came back to the office the next day, called Ganesh is the name of this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, instead of your becoming an entrepreneur, why don't you become an intrapreneur? And I offered him 30% of the company's profit.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily he took it. And today I'm glad to say that he is my partner in business.
Wow, fantastic.
And he's probably done a much better job running this trading company than I probably would have.
His name is Ganesh, you said.
Ganesh.
Wonderful. I would love to meet you one day.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Great. So, viewers, there were two things that Ramni touched upon. I would like you to just to repeat, take note of it. One of the things that his elder brother, asked him such a question, which is typically a coach's question, and as you hear it, you say your best friend, philosopher, and guide, or a coach. And the second thing is this, that you also went to this gentleman, Mr. Ganesh, for example, and you offered him an option which you had not thought of. So you were doing things which there was no precedence for, right? Okay, right? And so, of course, I know entrepreneurial journeys are about. I worked many years with an entrepreneur. I used to tell me, Ahmed, why don't you turn an entrepreneur? I said, look, I'm a manager, and you can't build your business without a manager, and I can't even have a business to build without an entrepreneur. Right? So it's symbiotic, So, but I understand, I value, and respect. So my question is that, how did you build this conviction of taking a decision and going and executing it, whether it was setting up manufacturing? Yes, you had a brother as a coach, you are an engineer for sure. Then suddenly, this gentleman wants to leave and set up his own business. You took a different. You also chose to talk to a friend. Okay. Now the story would have been a completely different story if you didn't have that friend with whom Prabodh, I think you said,
Prabodh,
you walked with.
Yes.
Now, for the viewers, what I want them to notice, look at the significance of your elder brother in your story. Look at the significance of your walking friend, Mr. Prabodh, whom you could share your vulnerability.
Absolutely.
And he said, okay, are you making money? If you're making money, no, you should not.
Right.
Yeah? You didn't have to listen to him, but it gave you the chance to have another idea which you didn't have. So this conviction, even to ask a friend, or rather, and the second level of conviction that, okay, you took a call, then you executed it. Where did this come from? You were so young at the time.
Yeah. So
you are still young.
Yeah.
We are still young. Yeah.
Thank you. I guess it all comes from a basic instinct of wanting to survive.
Okay.
And that is on the one hand. And on the other hand, my maternal grandfather was a businessman.
Okay.
Otherwise, I come from a doctor's family.
Okay.
And college, I had 5 very close friends, and all of them came from business families.
Okay.
So that was again something, which it rubs off.
Yes.
If they can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
So I guess it's a factor of all these
Okay.
aspects of, you keep the company which inspires you, and then it automatically happens that it rubs off, and then you're able to execute it without much ado.
So the ecosystem plays a big role.
Oh, very good.
For example, you don't find too many educated engineers to work for a company in Gujarat. They all try to run their own businesses.
I understand.
And on the other hand, from where my bloodline comes, although I never lived in Bengal, but I'm Bengali, so you hardly can find an educated Bengali who is starting a business would rather find a job in the best of so-called organizations.
Well, sure. I mean,
so the ecosystem does play a role.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Right. So we come back to this conviction in a different context when you are further down the trajectory of yours. Yeah. But at that time, in the 80s and 90s, the regulatory and the market environment was, compared to what today everybody talks about, when you listen to any news, our current political leadership, Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister now for 10 years, for example, or post-91, post-Manmohan Singh, and of course we should not forget Mr. Narasimha Rao, who brought in Manmohan Singh. People tend to forget, for example, but this is before that, right? So the market environment was not conducive. So there were either these big public sector giants, and then there were these small entrepreneurs who were supplying to the public sector giants. Maybe he also started doing that, I don't know. But my point is that it was not really entrepreneur-friendly. 40 years back, okay, or 35 years back also, we talk about ease of doing business and people still complain, no, it's not easy to do business still. So it was definitely much less easier in those days. So how was it? A few thoughts about that. Because you're a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, I guess being young is also a big advantage because you don't think too much.
Okay. You don't expect too much also.
Come again?
You don't expect too much.
I don't expect too much. I don't fear too much.
Yeah.
And I don't have too much to lose. And end of day, for me, it was a Hobson's choice. Because I just had to do it.
Okay.
And, there was this urge that I have to prove to the world what I am capable of. And I don't know whatever other thoughts they were at that time. So it was more the josh of the journey, more that kind of excitement of doing something new and contributing, people appreciating. Yes, of course, there will always be people who don't appreciate. But then that's all part of the whole cycle of.
But that's where the ecosystem, your brother and friends like Prabhu make a huge difference.
Big difference.
And you mentioned, so you were kind of living already at the self-actualization level of Maslow's hierarchy, if I may say, because not many people reach there, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean. There were reasons of survival also, because I don't come from a very rich family. But at the same time, I don't come from a very poor family either. But it was just that thing that kuch karna hai. And that was the kind of spirit which took me through all this and has brought me to where I am.
But you obviously had belief in your capabilities.
Well, why that nothing would happen.
Yeah. But were you also conscious about your limitations?
Maybe fortunately, that was not overpowering. So there have been times when one can go down in the dumps. But
why I ask the question, maybe add a subtlety to that, is that, see, I may not be conscious about my limitations, so therefore I may get into pitfalls, right? But the other thing is that, rather extreme, is that I'm so conscious about my limitations that I don't even take a step.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But there could be midway, which is that I am conscious of my limitations,
But
And I'm also conscious of my competencies.
absolutely.
And I take care that for my limitation side, I seek help.
Absolutely.
So that's where you were, I understand, right?
100%. And help was available for me at every turn because I got myself into that kind of a group of friends in Bangalore as well. And, you know, when you are in trouble, there's nothing like going and crying on the shoulders of another entrepreneur because he would have invariably gone through the same kind of situation, and you get an answer as to what is the direction of solution.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so can you also share a few failures you went through? Maybe just as an example, one.
So there was this time when I was, I told you I was in Adibody. So Adibody had moved to a place called the BTM layout. And we had 3 sheds of approximately 11,000 square feet each.
Okay.
And the office on the other side of the road. And everything was going hunky-dory for about 3, 4, 5 years.
So this was mid-90s.
Yes. Yeah, towards the late 90s.
Okay.
And one day there was a heavy rain in Bangalore. The next day I go to the factory.
Oh, God.
It's the one portion of the factory where my stores was completely flooded. Almost hip height water.
Wow.
And about 1.2 crores of materials were underwater. I still remember that time I was standing there looking at it. No words were coming out of my mouth. There was no point crying because there was nobody to come and
lend you a handkerchief.
Yeah. So we went ahead and luckily it was insured. So we got about 80 lakhs back. But that incident made me seriously think in terms of shifting the factory from this location. And all that what has led to where we are right now.
Okay.
State-of-the-art 62,000 square feet infrastructure. And we're adding another 50,000 square feet also, which should be ready.
Wonderful. I was just kind of the old habit of a practicing manager, some of the numbers were ticking on. So 90, you were started with 1,000 square feet. By late 90s, it was 30 times that, 3 times 11,000, you said. And then an accident happened, which is not the failure, but it was an accident.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
It was a situation.
But we lost 40 lakhs.
Yeah.
So 1.2 crores of inventory. How many months inventory was that approximately?
And in fact, so many of them had just come in the last week. And it was unfortunate that it all went underwater.
So it was kind of 5-6 months of inventory, I guess?
No, probably 1.5 months.
So you were already running quite a lean machine by that. There was a plan I was setting for you, but you'd already were doing so well, yeah. Now there's sometimes, some companies, I do shorter, I get engagements, and first thing I see that, oh my God, the inventory, depending on the turnover, the rolling is 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then they are already up to here with whatever, loans they can take, so how the hell you can grow. So, okay, great. So this was an accident. So I would like to reflect upon a failure, which was a failure in the sense that you took a call and you did what you had to do, but it didn't work. And how did that failure then kind of shape your, like this accident you already shared how it shaped your next decisions.
Right.
But maybe you didn't have.
Maybe we'll come back to this question.
Okay, yes, great, yeah. My point is that, even on a personal front, because we have this, and an entrepreneur, I don't know, I was not an entrepreneur, maybe what little I do to the one may say, but yet the life which in my experience I call life is a superset and work is a subset in that. But I think this an entrepreneur already knows by default, because unlike people who work as employees, other executives, top honchos or whatever, they may have the luxury sometimes of thinking that, oh, I have work, I need work-life balance. But I think an entrepreneur is easy to see that life is a superset.
Yeah.
So when you turned your friend Ganesh from a would-be entrepreneur to an intrapreneur, and he's still your partner, I think people who have the entrepreneurial or entrepreneurial thinking, they realize that.
Right.
And what I say that is that in the failure part, it could be in your life also. It doesn't have to be about your factory or production.
Something strikes me. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So in the year 1996, I went to Singapore with my brother, Anishankar. It was for about a week's time, and I felt like I should know how the world makes electrical switchboards. So I visited about 18 panel building units in that 1 week to understand what is there for me to learn in this. And that's where I came to know that even there you have the conventional welded manufacturers, you have the semi-modular panel manufacturers, and then you had a truly world-class panel manufacturing, which I got to see and I fell in love with immediately. So I pursued this idea. I went to Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Dubai, and after Dubai, I flew into Bombay because there was an electrical exhibition out there, all set to taking this modular concept idea to see the light of day in my factory. And then my brother was there, and he said, Ramni, there's a big opportunity. So I said, what is it? So he said that there is this UK-based company who are dealing with switches, and they're looking for a distributor in Bangalore. So again, brother bola, so I have to give it patient hearing, and I took on that dealership. 1 year I was with that dealership, and it was hell for me because the kind of pressure they were putting on selling the switches and the style of so going about this business, it was somehow not my cup of tea. So I would consider it therefore a decision which was not a very good decision for me to have said yes to. With that kind of energy which I had, I should have probably gone ahead with
something else.
This modular technology which I wanted to pursue. So I lost 1 year in the bargain. But then, in hindsight, when you look at these things, the philosophizing mind in me always says that there is a reason for that to have happened. But it's a good thing you bounced back, gave up that agency, and then started off on your route on the modular switchboards.
Okay, great. You only use the word thinking, philosophy. So my next question is, many business leaders lead from the head and some from the guts. Okay. Now, over 4 decades, how did your decision making evolve between intuition and analysis? So, head analysis, intuition, or gut.
Yeah.
How did it evolve over the last?
Sure. So it's a typical, case of head or the heart, and my approach has always been apply your head to it.
Okay.
So you take a piece of paper, you draw a line in the middle, write advantages, disadvantages, and then list it out. And all this exercise of the head gives you a certain amount of clarity. And once you feel that, yes, you're somewhere near getting that clarity, keep that paper aside and then meditate on what you feel about the situation.
Wonderful.
And invariably, one should go by the gut feeling.
Yeah, yes, I mean, you heard Ramani, giving his experiential conclusion that it is not either or, but there is a process that his life he has used and it has worked for you. With that first you use your head, you do analysis, okay, so that you have all the information in front of you. But then you keep it aside, and that was really lovely what you said for me. And then you use your guts, your intuition, and I think for me, it was. I used to do this, when I used to feel kind of clouded in my busy working days, and sometimes I will just SMS in those days my secretary and said, "Don't please have any meeting, for the next 1.5 hours. So I need my time." And I would have a desk calendar. I will draw actually 5, 6 circles, and just write the first 5 stuff over there, and then I write down on the side as a margin all the other things that are in my mind. The first 5 is what I have to now take care. And then out of the 5, I will label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 1 is where I start acting. Well, I can't handle everything.
Absolutely.
Okay. But then I have everything on the paper. And then I can say, okay, let me park it for 15 days from now, or even next year sometimes, depending on what you are handling. But the decision, how you label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not analytics.
Yeah.
There is a gut. There is what came to your mind when you spoke about it. There is a gut over there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to bring you back to this whole issue about, conviction. And so you made choices, as I know most leaders, most entrepreneurs do make, for sure. I mean, leadership probably, so far as my experience goes, is about making choices and executing those choices. But yet, when your conviction were at odds with the ecosystem or with the popular opinion around you, how do you handle it? You must have gone through a situation where you were convinced that this is the direction you want to go, but almost everybody around you was not agreeing with that.
Yeah, I mean, there have been quite a number of such instances. And that is where, the clarity with which you are able to come forward to run the business, it makes a big difference. Like I gave you the instance about how I decidedly closed down that distributor switches business, and then got on to the modular switchboard. And there was a time when I was in Adivodi. One person, he says, one of the industrial sheds which I was occupying, the owner wanted to sell it. So I said, I'm not interested. And my neighboring guy, he was saying, how can you say you're not interested? It will be a good asset for you. The real estate value will grow. But then, I had my thoughts on the fact that the factory should be this big, and and this didn't fit into my long-term goals. So these are certain decisions which you take, which comes out of your inner conviction of what is important for you and what is in the interest of long term.
I got an answer actually of what you said. For my question that I was digging deeper into, you were trying to dig deeper, is where does this inner conviction come from? And you actually answered it. And the answer I heard is that you had a vision that this is how the factory should be.
Correct.
Now, this is what is the source for your inner conviction.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, viewers, that's what I wanted to bring out also from the experience that of a very successful builder of businesses, Mr. Lamani, that your conviction comes from somewhere. It does not come from logic. It does not come from the information that you already have. AI is about data which is already there. Okay, for example. But the point is, it comes from a vision, it comes from an idea. It can be a little bit hazy, dusty, vague, whatever it is.
Exactly.
But still, you say, no, this is not what fits. This additional shed does not fit that.
Exactly.
So it may not be that this is what it should be, because you still don't know, you're still hunting for it, but you have a hazy idea that, but this doesn't fit that, and hence you reject it. And the popular opinion is not what you go by then. So this conviction is very much important, but it really becomes operative when you have the connection between the conviction and your vision and an idea, the dream, whatever you call it, that you have. So a lot of people who are very knowledgeable and very busy working professionals, sometimes I see that they're a bit scared even to use the word that, yes, I'm a dreamer, or I have a dream. They sometimes want to walk away from the conversation about visions. They find it much more, easier to discuss about strategy and projects and project planning and processes and systems. This is about the knowns.
Absolutely.
But it is the unknown that decides what you do, in the direction you go.
Totally. I mean, let me give you another example.
Please.
I told you about my inner passion to start the modular enclosure business. And I came back from Dubai, and all these things happened. And 2007, I said, come what may, I registered the company.
Okay.
Modutech Ready Panels Private Limited. And then, again, this noise outside saying that are you going to start a third company with all this VAT and excise duty and all this tamasha which is happening. And to add to all that, a consultant, when I went to meet him from my switchboard business, and I told him about my interest to start the enclosure business, he says, no, 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 you shouldn't be doing that. If you start doing that, who do you think will buy from you?
Yeah.
Your competition? Why would they buy from you? You just focus on doing what you're doing and keep going at it. And all these things, for 10 long years, I filed nil returns.
Okay.
And because
till 2017.
Sorry?
Till 2017.
Till 2017, I filed nil return. I could have easily concluded it off at some point of time, but I did not. And then 2017, an incident took place, which, really gave me the conviction that I am on the right path. And that was a big order of Kia Motors, which was given to me by Eaton. And it just came to me on a silver platter. And I had to execute that order in just 5 months' time, which was almost equivalent to my entire last year's turnover. I tell you, we were able to do that to the satisfaction of all stakeholders, thanks to the modular design.
Right.
Because I was able to get the modular design panels done very fast because of the very nature of that particular idea. And I was able to subcontract it. So for the customer, everything was looking uniform. Sent all my production people as...
So you had the concept already worked out. Yeah.
And I said, this is too good an idea for me to take to my grave. Wow. And then I started billing from Modutech. And today, the way I'm building the business, it wouldn't be too long before Modutech overtakes the other two companies.
Load control and money sales.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I'm sure the viewers would have found it very interesting. Yeah. You started the example by talking about inner something you said, for example. My next section is about your inner edge, living on the edge. What is that inner edge? So is there a difference between the businessman, Mr. Ramani Mani, and the individual Ramani Mani?
Well, I guess, we all morph into the roles what we play in life.
Okay, wonderful.
And I'm a very different person in the office and a very, very different person at home.
Oh, I would love to come and then catch you in the office. Yeah.
My wife keeps commenting that I never lose my temper at home. And how do you say that you're losing your temper in the office? I guess she has come out with this philosophy that we lose our temper only in the place where we take responsibility. So, anyway, the point is that we are different people depending on the roles, but intrinsically we have the same kind of value systems, the philosophy of life, and the ethics we lead our lives with.
And that is not by chance, of course. That's by design.
No. It's by a lot of discipline. It's this beautiful word, responsibility. It is how your ability to respond to the outside stimuli.
And it's your leadership.
Yeah.
And of course your leadership then creates other leaders for sure.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
So the answer is that there is a difference between the businessman Ramani and the individual Ramani?
Yeah. Of course, there is in terms of the priorities which you bring to the role which you play. That's it.
Okay, understood. So in the businessman Ramani, as opposed to the individual Ramani, just playing on one vector, would you say that the time factor is more shorter term than in the businessman Ramani than in the individual Ramani?
Time factor in the sense?
I mean, the time on which the businessman Ramani plays, you are thinking, you have to get things done, etc., is shorter than the individual Ramani.
Yeah, you see, there I take control of the situation. I take leadership. I take decisions at home with my friends, with society in general. I'm little laid back and allow the other person the freedom to take their decisions
Okay.
and enjoy the whole. The What I realize is that if one can run your business in that same way, that is the best way to do it.
I know.
And anyway, that's how it is.
That topic we leave it for another day. That's an entire episode, I'm sure, but I keep that in mind. I think you already answered my next question about, why you did not choose to work for a public sector in those days in the 80s and 90s when you finished your engineering studies.
Yeah.
And it's just started. I think you already answered
In
that.
fact, I had a job offer on hand from IOCL at that time.
Okay.
And but then when my brother offered this, I did blink an eyelid. I said, "Why not?" and moved on.
Right. In the ecosystem.
Yeah, it is.
So let me ask you another very question to the Ramani, the gentleman, the individual. Who, to name a few, were the main influences for the person you were at the time, and what in this individual's influenced you? I think you answered the who, your elder brother.
My elder brother, my father also played a very important role.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things which he did, which is very inspiring for me. He was in the Indian Navy.
Okay.
And his father had a stroke, so he was with us in Pune at that time. But then he expressed a desire that he wants to be in Chennai where his other children are.
Okay.
So my father took voluntary retirement from Navy.
Okay.
We came and settled down in Chennai. He got into private practice as a doctor. And he really started seeing money at that point of time. Yet in the mornings, he would go to Andhra Mahila Sabha, which is Center for the Polio Attacked Children, an NGO, and he would want to voluntarily contribute out there. So if he had wanted, he could have done private practice in the morning also, earn more money. But these are the kind of decisions which, sort of differentiate the values with which you lead your life. So I think he's also been a very inspiring person in my life, and been fortunate to be his son.
So, yeah, I mean, my salute to your father for sure, with all the respect. But you talked about your brother. You also talked about your working friend, Prabodh. And then you talked about Mr. Ganesh, who's still your partner. But just to limit it, say to your brother, who you already mentioned was a big influence on you. My question is that what did that influence leave inside you? You spoke already about your father, where it left the values probably, Yeah? But what did your brother's influence leave in you?
Never say die kind of an attitude. When he was in the third year of his BBA, he failed in the exam. So he had to rewrite the exam after 8 months. And in that 8 months, what does he do? He can't be studying all the 8 months. So he had a friend of his in Calcutta. And jute bags were available in Calcutta in beautiful colors and designs. So he would call his friend. He would send him a big consignment of those jute bags. And he would go shop to shop selling it in Chennai during those 8 months.
Oh, wow.
And he made 10,000 rupees profit during that time. It was quite a
probably is equal to 10 lakhs or even more. Yeah.
Perhaps, yes. Yeah. So, but more than the money, it was the spirit. That, I asked him one day, what really made you get into business? And then he was explaining to me that this experience of his was always having that hook in him that, okay, I should become an entrepreneur.
Right. Today, after 4 decades of building businesses, successes, and a great, I'm sure, fan club of friends, okay, can you name 2 who you would say left the most lasting influence from the Ramani Mani we meet today? not get any money of the yesterday when you started building up. And today, Mr. Ramani Money, I think we are similar stage of life and age group, right? So amongst that, the people that you built up as well as who are your friends, associates, whatever, um, who left the most lasting influence for today's Ramani Money?
So I would say there are two mentors in my life who really left a lasting impression. I told you I came to Bangalore in 83.
Right.
84, I saw this advertisement in the paper about a course called MILT by one Apresh Acharya, again a Bengali. And it was a leadership training program. And it was based on the Dale Carnegie's philosophy. So I went and attended that program. It was marvelous. And I liked it so much that I repeated it 2 times further. And, we used to have what is called the Sunday morning classes, where he would have a lot of these spiritual talks. So all of that laid a fantastic foundation in me. It had a lot of communication skills, dramatic sessions, human relation feedback session, memory pegging, and all of that. And I think, in serious ways, it has its style of getting into the efficiencies which you bring to the table when you're a businessman.
Yeah.
The second was of more recent origin, a person by name Rajiv Talreja.
You mentioned yes.
Yeah, Karan, both of them, they're doing yeoman service to the entrepreneurial industry. And he has developed a method by which, if you follow, he reduces running a business to a science. And he talks about the 3 pillars which are very important for running a business: the strategy pillar, the systems pillar, and the team. So as long as you take care of these 3 pillars, then the business can, automatically it'll do very well.
Right.
So there were a lot of follow-up courses on Rajiv Talreja's program also, which I did. And till date, I practice a lot of what I learned in his teachings. So he's all over the YouTube and Instagram. I don't know whether you've had an opportunity to...
Honestly, they could not yet get into it, but I will one day. I can't...
Worth it.
But what comes out, I think, again, for both viewers and I think from myself for sure, is this that, see, there's one thing that you get exposed to knowledge or wisdom, whatever. But the other thing, which is nothing to do with probably the person who influences you, but it is probably more to do with you, the individual, is that you practice it.
Oh yeah.
And you repeated it more than 3 times, that you are still practicing it. That sincerity and the diligence attached to it.
I respect.
Actually doing it every day in and out. Because there are hundreds of millions of concepts in the world. But do I practice one concept? I think that's where it also becomes very important.
You need a lot of grace for that as well.
Sure, I'm sure. Looking back, do you feel that living on the edge was a matter of circumstance, or was it a choice you kept making?
Circumstance or choice? I would say a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Because when it comes in as a circumstance, you don't have a choice. And when it comes in as a choice, then you'd rather take it for your own growth. Because I always believe that success has a price. And you have to be willing to pay it. Only then you can get there. So nothing comes free in this world. And another cliched sentence, which I truly believe in, was that growth is always outside the comfort zone. So when you have an opportunity to get out of the comfort zone, welcome it, go out, and that is where one can grow.
Yeah, in fact, I've done a special episode where the title is Growth is a Function of Your Investment in Complexity. And this is something has been my byline for myself, of course, first as a learning, then as a practitioner, and then whatever I do, whether it's teaching, coaching, etc. Because I think, but it's the same thing in lesser words, what you said just now. And there is another thing that you mentioned, which kind of took away my next question, not necessary, so I will skip that one. But let me get into that one. I think it's probably could be important for viewers also, that you touched upon it, that when you grow and you have been a success for anybody who sees your 40 years and you've built 3 companies, a lot of people, etc. You talk about a trade-off. You didn't use the word trade-off, but you said some things you were. So is there something that there was a trade-off which you miss or you missed because of the choices you made? Is there something that you missed which you would not have liked to miss?
Well, I guess life is all about trade-offs, and कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है.
आपने कहा इसीलिए जीत गया. See, what little I have seen you look a very, composed man, a very happy man, in control also, for example. But yeah, I wanted to ask you this question: that is there something that you missed, which you value? I mean, we can miss many things, but not everything should be, in hindsight, of value, right?
You see, for me, it's it makes more sense to enjoy the journey than to visualize different other destinations which you could have been in. You could go on expanding on that, but there's nothing you're going to achieve. But if you stay in the moment and enjoy it, then life is worth living. So no regrets.
Wonderful, thank you. But if the 28-year-old Ramani were to meet you today, would he be surprised?
I would imagine yes, he would be surprised.
What would be the most surprising thing about today's Mr.
I don't know, because I mean, when I started off, I didn't imagine that I would have reached this situation. Perhaps somebody else in my shoes would have reached much more ahead of me.
More different, whatever.
More different, whatever. But if I were to take some advice from that, or give some advice rather.
Okay.
If I were to give some advice to that 28-year-old Ramani, I would say think bolder, better, bigger than what one have done so far.
Okay.
And with the kind of knowledge which I have picked up over the years, I feel that it's anything which one puts one's mind to, plans it out, and diligently executes, it's very much achievable. So the what is 150 could have probably been 1,500, could have been 15,000, but it's not the number; it's the experience. So, and it's also the contribution and the learning. So, if you really look at all these 3 factors of contribution, learning, and the experience what you go through, living on the edge is something which I think we need to be really grateful for.
I think that's a very thoughtful and obviously experienced note on which you give that statement, and I can relate to it. But if today you look at today's youngsters, by youngsters I mean which we all were, and everybody was once upon a time young, and another time not so young. So I've done a few episodes on millennials and Gen Zs, how to manage, and with others I've hosted different people because I wanted to have different also takes, not just from one person. And so, and we got different hues at least, but there was a common thread that today's Gen Zs, these people, these labels were foreign to me, but I was suggested that I should do something on this. So And they say that, for the Gen Zs, the younger generation, still in 20s, let's say, for them values are more important, purpose is more important, but, the other stuff like maximizing profit or maximizing wealth is not that important. I mean, I don't take it even with a pinch of salt because I myself, when I experience a Gen Z or a young person, then I rather would interact with the individual rather than have a stereotypical view on that. But yet, my last request to you for today's episode would be that would you like to leave some advice or some provocation, whatever instigation for this younger crowd? Because the next 15, 20 years, I'm not going to contribute much. Okay, but these youngsters will build the nation, the society that my granddaughter will be growing into.
Yeah.
For example.
You see, one of my biggest learnings and what I got myself to truly believe in is more important than building a company to last is building a company to sell. The important thing is that we need to look at wealth generation on the one side, and on the other side, create entrepreneurial businesses which has a cascading effect in the way the society can grow, the way the world can benefit out of it, out of all the efforts that are being put in, and not to think that you are the only person who knows and who can run the business. So, the beauty of building a business to sell is that you automatically have to ensure that your EBITDA is in place, your PAT is in place, your systems, processes, strategy, people are all world class. It's only then that you can attract investment into your company. So, rather than keeping one's focus on built to last, I would want the Gen Z to have their focus on built to sell. So you create a company in such a manner that it becomes an attractive organization, a living organization, which, like you give your daughter away in marriage, you give your company away to the right investor.
With pride and responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah, but just as a caveat to put on that, because when you first use the phrase build a company to sell, and I've been in this, on invite to this some VC kind of environment where they talk about this first tranche of investment, the second tranche. So they're talking about selling your stake. You invest today $100 or whatever, and you make $500 in 3 years. That's very different from what you are talking about. You're talking about build a company to sell. And building a business plan to sell is different than building a company.
Exactly.
So they're selling business plans.
No. That's it. What will happen? That is, trying to make a fast buck.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about.
And I wanted to make this, come out very clearly for our viewers, because you not only said that statement, building a company to sell, you also immediately talked about the EBITDA, the PAT, the organization, the culture, the people. So that's a company. Company is not just a business plan, I will be 50 times X from today. I have done 5X, and then you can say, it will be another 10X or something like that. So thank you very much, Ramali. It was great talking, and I know this conversation is probably find it difficult to end, but I want to thank you so much for your sharing your experience and your wisdom. I hope the viewers also found it useful and interesting. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, The Missing Link with Amit, so that I can keep on bringing fantastic experiences from individuals like Mr. Ramani and others. And yes, real life of leadership is about living on the edge. It could be the entrepreneurial version, or it could be about power and poise. I wish you all the best. So keep on also giving your comments or questions. If you have any questions from what you heard to Mr. Ramani or from myself or Vinay, we would love to come back to you and also suggest any episodes, particular topic that you would like us to handle, which is important or significant for you as practicing leaders. Thank you again.
And I would like to also add that
please.
Don't just subscribe, but also share it with your friends.
Yeah.
You see, ultimately, this kind of knowledge is not easily available. And what you're trying to do is get the essence of, what has been the path walked by an individual so that other people can also benefit from it.
Yeah.
So kudos to you. And please continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ramani. But what we discussed, since you mentioned this point, I must also add this point, that which was something we both discussed, that having worked in the city of Bangalore now, I've lived here 30 years, and I used to spend most of my working life, I was very sitting and working, living and working very close to the Pina industrial area, which is, I think, the oldest industrial area of
Absolutely.
Bangalore. Not only Bangalore, really one of the oldest in the country.
Correct.
And it was really saddened my heart to see these small companies never growing. And one of the reasons I invited Mr. Ramani to my show is probably to also inspire or maybe instigate or maybe provoke some of these, companies which are there and the owners to have that, vision, or to go ahead and try to do and try to grow. Because without growth, there's only other way, which is death.
Absolutely.
There is only one way straight.
Absolutely.
So thank you again for being in that point. Yes, it's very personal. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.